ad that uses a clip from Endgame, my seminal documentary on the globalist mindset. Not just that they want a world government, but what are they after? What drives our enemy? It's important to know that. It's key to know that. Now, looking at this, it is such an illustration that the top political ad companies that Huntsman and others have hired are going after Ron Paul for simply saying, yeah, Skull and Bones wields a lot of influence. Yeah, the CFR and Trilateral Commission do. I mean, both these groups have written thousands of publications. Thousands of publications. The Trilateral Commission since '74, when David Rockefeller set it up, was Zbigniew Brzezinski. The CFR since 1922. I mean, they put out magazines, internet articles. Every 2 months, a big book comes out called Foreign Affairs, constantly calling for the end of sovereignty, world government. And so they take clips of Ron Paul talking about real things and imply that it's crazy. Now, think of the disdain that they have for the viewers. All these decades, they told you there's no New World Order. All these decades, they said the CFR doesn't exist. I remember Limbaugh saying that 15 years ago. Now he says they don't have power and makes jokes about it. But he used to say didn't exist. I remember being on talk radio in 96, 97, 98 and getting phone calls. Back then, half the callers would disagree with me on average. And saying, how dare you say there's something called the NSA and Echelon listening to our phones and grabbing data. There's no such thing. And I'd get other calls saying, I work for the government, buddy, and you're not supposed to talk about that. The public thought it was a conspiracy theory that the National Security Agency existed. Then when they admitted it existed by 2000 or so, then we had to have a debate about, no, folks, every major phone company hub has NSA rooms and floors in it, listening to everything you do. Here's the congressional funding for it going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Here's the Telecommunications Act. Here's $9 billion in 1996 to put new hubs in all the facilities. Here's the standardization for cell phone manufacturers under FCC regulations that want to sell phones in the country. They've got to have a back door where they can turn it on and listen to you even when it's off. Here's the Telecommunications Act. I got calls. NSA doesn't exist, and they wouldn't spy on us. Today, does the NSA exist? Here I am saying there's a world corporate government bankrupting Europe and the U.S. through derivatives. Told you that 13, 14 years ago, exactly what they would do. Top economist on, George Humphrey and others. Told you everything that was going to unfold, and I'm still here playing childlike games with people. You know, playing along with the childlike game of having to go, there really is a world government. There really is a mega corporate takeover system. And I still get to tune into talk radio randomly almost every week and hear somebody make fun of me, a host or callers, because I talk about this. I mean, it's disgusting. I'm talking about real things that are happening. Ron Paul is, and instead of us having a debate about, do we want a private, corporate, unelected world government that's tyrannical and oppressive and anti-free market, I have to keep having a debate with childlike people about whether it exists or not. Now, this isn't working anymore. That's why the, quote, mainstream media is falling apart and is now known for the liars they are. But still, they think this agenda works. So I'm going to go ahead and play the John Huntsman ad for you. Here it is. The Ron Paul Chronicles.
The assumption is that this guy is like your crazy uncle, but you never expected your crazy uncle to get this far. The problem with him is that he's got some very sound points, but then he's kind of, I don't know, in other areas scary.
All I can say is, you know, people have written about this, and the Skull and Bones is a secret order of Yale and Infinity. Proposition is that people are there groomed for the Trilateral Commission and the CFR, and therefore they will then be in positions of great influence in our government.
President Bush said that the New World Order was in tune, and that's what they were working for. 600,000 Americans died in a senseless civil war. You buy the slaves and release them. How much would that cost compared to killing 600,000 Americans?
If you look at the history, you'll find out that Hamas
was encouraged and really started by Israel. Have you ever read about the reasons they attacked us? They attack us because we've been over there. We've been bombing Iraq for 10 years.
Are you suggesting we invited the 9/11 attacks, sir?
The Israelis are there. The United States is there. All these countries. China has nuclear weapons. Why wouldn't it be natural that they might want a weapon? Internationally, they'd be given more respect.
Tune in next week for more of the Ron Paul Chronicles with Twilight Zone music. Okay, let's stop right there. This is only a small smattering that you're about to see of just what we grabbed yesterday. There are hundreds and hundreds of these. In fact, the best compendium of them is Jason Bermas's seminal film that I produced, available at Infowars.com, Invisible Empire. It's got hundreds and hundreds of clips, and the world leaders openly saying that the New World Order means global government. The New World Order means the state is God. Now, here is a grouping of clips for people out there. I mean, there must be groups that don't think there's a New World Order and don't think that there's a CFR or Trilateral Commission and really think it's kooky to talk about the political gangsters that have gotten all their people into power and then are running this country into the ground and openly announcing a bank of the world that will pay our carbon taxes to. So for you, here are world leaders, including George Herbert Walker Bush, Barack Obama, Henry Kissinger, and others, Gordon Brown, Herman von Rompuy, the head of the European Union, the unelected bureaucrat who runs everything, openly saying New World Order, global governance, global government. I mean, what a hoax. These globalists run ads basically saying, we're going to make fun of you. They think you're peer pressure driven, that if they say the sky isn't blue and they tell you, you'll say, yes, sir, boss. Here's those clips.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Partnership and cooperation among nations is not a choice. It is the only way.
I think its task will be to develop an overall strategy for America in this period when really a new world order can be created. It's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind. Now we can see a new world coming into view, a world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order.
But it is the awareness itself that will drive the change. And one of the ways it will drive the change is through global governance and global agreements. But the many business leaders who have been present here are among those taking leadership in other ways.
Yet these problems can be overcome by a joint effort in and between our countries. 2009 is also the first year of global governance, with the establishment of the G20 in the middle of the financial crisis. The climate conference in Copenhagen is another step towards the global management of our planet.
This is collective action, people working together at their best. I think a new world order is emerging, and with it the foundations of a new and progressive era of international cooperation.
And then all right, that's just a small grouping. Now, I thought I would go and fact-check Huntsman's ads some more for you, because it's Haaretz, Jerusalem Post, UPI, Washington Post, New York Times, hundreds of articles. If you just type in Israel created Hamas, you will get Israeli newspapers by the dozen. But here they are. I'll put some on screen for viewers. For radio listeners, just look this up. This is the Wall Street Journal, January 24th, 2009. How Israel helped to spawn Hamas. And again, we have another grouping of a video in there. That's the third clip. We can just show viewers this on screen, or I can do a document cam shot. So Ron Paul's bad for saying Israel created and set up Hamas. But I mean, there's Haaretz, Haaretz. That's right there for everybody right there. I mean, they go on and admit that Israel created it. Here's the headline. Israel has only one option when it comes to Iran. And then it goes in the article to Israel creating Hamas. So there it is. But you can go further. You can type in Israel created fake al-Qaeda or Israel staged attacks against themselves. And you'll pull up Jerusalem Post, Haaretz. We're supposed to just be stupid. See, Ron Paul's not supposed to be able to read Israeli newspapers or the Wall Street Journal. See, our real crime is that we live in the real world. Our crime is that we know how to count to 10. Our crime is we know what's up and what's down. We know what's black and what's white. We know basically how to tie our shoelaces, and you're not supposed to know. You're just supposed to see a guy in a suit, laugh at Ron Paul, and go, he's worried about a global government. Ha ha. Oh, Ron Paul's worried about all these derivatives and the banks imploding us. Ha ha. It's all a planned takeover. And, of course, they have to keep ridiculing, just like they ridicule and go, they're crazy people. They think there's an agency called the NSA, and the government's listening to them. They're crazy people. Now it's all admitted. Just like we told you there was plans to use the military domestically, now it's the law, and they say they'll secretly disappear you. No more time for games, folks. Okay, going back to your phone calls in this segment, the next, then Wayne Paul, brother of Ron Paul, going to be joining us. Look at this article at the Washington Post. I just typed in Ron Paul and hit search, and almost every article of hundreds says, like, don't vote for him. He's a kook. He loves bin Laden. He wants your kids to use heroin. Look at this headline of the Washington Post. Seriously, Iowa? Ron Paul? It's like this trendy, windy ridicule of these little pack animal lemmings in the dying dinosaur traitor media. And they just think if they trendy around and say, you're not allowed to vote for him or you're a kook, everybody will say, okay, you're with the discredited Washington Post. I better do what you say right away. I mean, how long do we let these scum dictate to us? It's so pathetic. It's so ridiculous. We have a criminal class that thinks they've taken the country over and has bankrupted us by design and signed us on to their fraudulent debt. It's time to get angry. It's time to never stop. And it's time to expose these people. And it's time to remove our support from them and support true media. We've got 15-day free trials running right now at Prisonplanet.tv. We're extending the Christmas special a little bit into this month as a New Year's special. Get 50... Well, what is it? Comes up to 5.3 months free when you sign up for a year. So you pay for 6.7 months, you get 4 point. I'm so wound up today I can hardly even talk. You pay for 6.7 months and you get 5.3 months free. Prisonplanet.tv. We got a lot of other specials running right now as well. Right now, let's go to Mark. Oh, we already talked to Mark, so that was already there. Let's talk to MJ in. Who do I talk to then? Okay, I thought I already talked to a Mark in Illinois earlier. Let's just go to MJ in Illinois. MJ, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I really do appreciate you because I only listened to you for about 2 years ago where I came across you accidentally on YouTube. And these other talk show hosts, you just hit it on the money. They're just... Words can't describe how evil these people are, and I'm just trying to be nice since I'm doing occasionally speak. I'm on air, but the thing I had about Ron Paul is what they're doing to him is criminal, and we the Americans. Well, yeah, this is a criminal group that took America over. They really are criminals. That they're getting ready to start devaluing the currency and grabbing everybody's bank accounts. They're a bunch of scum. America doesn't exist anymore. It's been taken over.